Okay, so I just asked my guides to join me in describing something that I have the beginning of, but I just want to make sure that it's shared as best it can be. So that'll help bring to the forefront through a truth resonance that I will understand. You know, it's like having a big library of your soul and also the intelligence of the universe. So you just, you have a request. And so what I wanted to talk about was I think we're in shock and in a state of shock, right? It's not anything to panic over. No, it's not that. State of shock of I'll describe it as Christ light, but it's the God force light that gives us creation. So let's not just get stuck on a person in time, but the fact that Christ light is powerful. So we're in a state of shock. I mean, look what we did 2,000 years ago to someone in a state of, can't control this, we should get rid of it. But it's back. Excuse me. So the state of shock hits the being when you realize things, which is why I love mediumship as well at the moment. Like the whole design is that the earth needs some of the intermediaries between earth and just how thin the veil is of spirit, so that we can ground the fact that we are light. You lose the skin and all this dimensional attachment, but you are light. So anyway, I think we're in a state of shock because when we get, here's the crux of the message. When it hits us, it changes everything. And that's okay. So this is what I asked for help for with my guides. So this screen is a bit bright. Let's move it back. But see, unconsciously, we know what I just said. So I just reach in for more of the fact we know it. That so however it hits you, that it can be like layers and layers and layers of what you thought life was And then Christ-like comes through it all and says, well, actually, this isn't all like what you thought it was. This isn't all of that. And this part of your life as well, this isn't all of that. And this part of your life as well, this isn't all of that. And you're actually, like, Christ light is getting right to you now, because you got so much more to step through and not get rid of, but there's a bigger world, there's a bigger light, there's a bigger power source, and it's been trying to get to you. So whatever our soul paths have led us to believe, and then Christ's light comes in somewhere, there is going to be a cascading kind of effect. And it just depends on what you're doing here on the planet now. So it might just change, I don't know, a person in your life, and then that cascading effect is a part of the Christ light spread. When we think, oh my God, all of this is changing now, all of life is changing, and then that's where the human has got stuck. Why can't it? Why me? Right? But Christ's light isn't a bad thing. And that's what I meant by it's nothing to worry about. Because in 3D, we cling to things. And that's it, pretty much, okay? It's not summarized in just clinging to one thing. We literally like things not changing too quick, too much, too of anything. So we just got to kind of accept, as we're growing into light beings, light being awareness, we're coming online in light, that things can change. You've signed up for this time. It might change quick, it might change a lot, but it is all for good reason. And I would just, because I've practiced as a part of life that because of this light, I have trusted in making some changes in my life that just felt like I was doing the right thing. As in, I'll give over to you, but I'll check in with me to make sure this alignment, I am doing the right thing. Like I am in alignment with the bigger path. So I've practiced this is the way my life looks. Something else is calling me. I feel my way into it. Now, stop, check in. Is this the felt whole way to go? Or am I missing something? And what you'll feel when you do that check-in contemplation is, in your feeling resonance being, you'll know what the energy is saying. This is why sometimes we get to these kind of points in life and we'll tend to look outside to who we've known in the familiar, blah, 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 right? Now we got to learn that we can't always do that because they're not walking this path. And so that's what I mean by, instead of doing that, I go within, check in with that energy field, and I mean drop into it all. Drop into what my life is, what's been happening recently. Drop into the Teresa Now soul frequency. What I ask, what is opening up? Because it's all energy, so it's all in motion. So there is a path and something wants to open up. And so this is where you get the messaging in your field. And if we just operate the way we have been, we'll be unconscious of checking in with ourselves. And we'll just be like this. Oh, they'll know better. And I'll just forget about this. So this just doesn't know what the fuck it's doing, your energy field. So you have to be present for it. And so when I had to open up, that's what I would trust. I would trust the feelings, not my visual, not any human motives, not any old patterns talking that I should be a certain way. I would be present fully. And it's like a shedding in the moment if that's what's required. You can get so present with yourself to know which way to go. And it is through practice of peace and calm. Because you can't really do any of this if you're everywhere else. You know, mind, emotions, unsettled, human. Life's got to be like this. All these different things we think life should be. So we don't realize sometimes it might feel huge and some things have got to go. And it's all energy. And all I can say is trust the Christ light. Christ, the word, the name, which is now a field of light, is a very powerful word to call on. And just like other deities, we might feel that as well. But, yeah. Christ's light has the power of God in it. So, not that any other representation doesn't, but it's like just the closest to saying God. And it's not because of an individual. You know, it's not praise this person. It's, yeah, this soul was chosen, but we're all daughters and sons of God. So it just tried to show us and is still showing us. And so I'm just saying, don't be shocked when it hits you. Because change you could liken to, if change is coming upon you, just sit back and breathe a little. Okay? Because the more present you can get, the more you'll see the true light that's actually there. And you got to kind of, to get present, you got to accept you're a human, brain, subconscious, what we would call subconscious strength, but I would call it over-stimulated caution. That needs to fucking relax. So you're this human with this overstimulated subconscious terrain, right? And we can see life through that. Let's go to a coffee shop together for the moment. You ready? Let's go. Okay, so we're going to a coffee shop. We've ordered. We sit down. Our drinks won't be long. So we're sitting down. And at a coffee shop, right, there's generally noise. There's traffic probably. There's thoughts going on in the subconscious terrain. There's unease somewhat, because life is happening all around you. And then you get into this layering with a friend or whoever you're with, or even on your own, and you just start to ease. Okay? Now, if you can follow that ease, you'll become more present than you will stimulated in the subconscious, and everyone's got it, terrain. If you can let go, just stare at the wood of the table, or just let yourself go, and all you can hear is just the sounds. Just let go. You're starting to let go a little bit more, and then your drinks are coming to arrive. Then all you got by the time that person delivers that drink to your table is thank you, I really appreciate that. And yeah, you could say that just like autopilot as we use our manners, but you could also say that from the depth of your soul. It's like admitting to yourself there is a deeper version, and I have to accept connection, because it is a wild and wonderful resource. Let's not go to the subconscious. We're not going to the wild on the outside. It's a wild and wonderful stabilization of who you really are. Your soul would really like it for you to move dimensions with your human by letting go, and it can be done just with that little breath, concentration, decline of the outside. I'm landing, I'm going within. Let's pause in that for a moment. The way I'm seeing it to help describe it is like a figure of 8, right? There's a person sitting at the table, and there's this energy. They are the figure of 8. We are the figure of 8. And then there's outside of the figure of 8. There is the atmosphere we get to create in. So you could look around and everyone's a figure of 8 if you want. But the point is, from your solar plexus area and then down, you don't worry about the upper one yet. But what you're saying is, when you want to get present, is because the upper one doesn't calm first. So the upper one, that is like still a part of all the subconscious stimulated life's terrain. The noise, the service, the whatever. But what you're saying is, I'm going in. And so what will happen, and what tends to happen, is through the breath and the commitment, you deepen. Now, there tends to be a little battle there with the ego naturally. It says, oh, what are you doing that silly activity for? That's not going to get us anywhere. Just drink your drink and listen to all the noise. Wonder what they're saying. What's your phone say? No. The ego is all about taking care of you, yeah, right? But not change. It's not about change. So your heart has to lead, and it is of service, and that's it. It's just of service. You don't even have to think about that it's of service. We have this skin, we have this, person, just this element to us. So anyway, going back to the solar plexus, you're going in. And then what will tend to happen if you choose to get present more often is either way it can go around. It just depends. It depends what life is like for you at the time. Or you can feel this. It's coming in, down, and around. And that aligned can go deeper, bigger, wider, but more about depth. So it's you and your magnetic earth connection. So you're starting to feel just you can call it stillness. It definitely is stillness, because no one is in control of this but you. So you're connecting with the stillness. And then you've got to let the upper join it, like you want to feel this part. So that's why you do your own practice at home, but then it can be like wherever you are, because it's you. You're taking you. So you're training it. And the subconscious then is kind of just like things that want to stick to you, but you only let in your flow that which is of contented higher service. Higher self, higher service, because your choices become different once you're shifting your vibration. So anyway, I'm trying to explain that although life can be like how we look, how we look at the coffee shop, or what we have, or the place that we're in, or, the locality, the people persona, whatever. It can be all, it's all different things in life. It can be something very basic too. But what I'm saying is, if you let the stimulus terrain run away with your energy field, and this is what you do as a part of life, there is this deeper part that is so much more rich and contented when you go into it, that actually has in the moment guidance. So this is where I wanted to get to with the coffee shop thing. You could be somewhere, and what can actually happen is, if you've practiced presence, this exterior layering of life, it drops away. And you literally know you're not of the world, you're of this place. This central, beyond all that's happening in the creative field, it just, your energy is vaster. So there is this amazing, like, what do you call it, with the stem of a flower, and then it gets to the real nourishing part, not of the bud, but as the bud comes up and grows, it's like, probably like the center. But anyway, it's kind of like our necks and our spines as well, that we receive from the divine, like inspiration and lots of ideas come into this area, and like it's met with the breath of the human and a vast stabilization. If we're not all sunken in and just like on the fucking go. Outside, 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 outside. Now, if we were all doing this, life would look a hell of a lot different. It would not be outside, 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 phone, 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 outside, outside, outside. What's going on? I can't be in environments like that for too long, where you just can feel the air is so stiff with everything that's going on the outside. And I mean everything. Like, you can be in some environments sometimes where you just know you're not going to get a clearing in here for a while. As in, you might see some people, or someone might walk by and you might feel like they're actually in a nice space, right? Because you only feel it. It's not like your mind goes do-do-do-do-do-do. It's like, oh yeah, there is some space in here. Everyone is not like everything is out there. Like they're operating out there. You know, where you can feel so much going on. And if we're not in touch with this body part, then our head thinks it has to operate through all of this shit. Now, it's not all shit, right? I'm saying all this shit because it's not ours. That's the difference. With being present, you open up the field and no one else has to know. It's not a thing that, you know, but life would look different if we were all holding this non-thinking, eyeball looking stimulus out there life. The way we look, what we got, the way we appear, the way we even sound. You know, you can feel when someone is trying to hold themselves a certain way instead of just like, I'm just present. Yeah, I'm just present, however I look, whether you like me or you don't. It doesn't matter, because I feel the fullness, I've practiced the fullness, and this is what I offer. And it feels so good that I would like to find my way in the world where I can actually allow others to know this for themselves as well. Like, this is something I will never give up for anyone. That's the way you start to feel. So it's pretty amazing that the whole of us can come online, and this is a starter description of how that could look or feel for you if you allow yourself more drop-in time and saying to yourself however it resonates for you. My inside world matters more than the noise on the outside. And when my inside world matters more, I'll only attract that's what's attracted to my inner world contentment. But this is the inner world contentment you got to practice. This is the noticing in your subconscious where you feel different things to the outside, and whether you behave in a subconscious pattern to it or you become more of your internal world. And this happens through experience and learning, and nothing is like ever perfect. But what becomes the perfect feeling is that we are divine Christ light, And this is what you can have, an inner world contentment. And life does become different and better because you attract from yourself, your soul. Everyone's Christ-light. So this is what we need to be talking about. Because this is how we get out of 3D eyeball fulfillment into the inner eyes. And I don't mean seeing just as in an eye. I mean the eye sees more. The eye sees through the 3D. And if it's an internal eye, it means it's your feeling seeing. Feeling, seeing, knowing. And it becomes your feeling, seeing, knowing way of being. And it's reliable. As long as you're reliable. So I think that's enough for now. But there's a lot of goodness in that chat that could be opened up. The surrendering to Christ's light for change. And it's not a prayer of any kind of savior to give old lives back, like old change that has to change. It's a surrender to, okay, you lead, and from my inside, I'll watch, learn, and listen where I am best of service. That might mean I have to leave something to do something completely different, but I am trusting you. You are part of me on this earth. And that's the truth. And I bow my head to any further changes you want to bring, no matter how difficult, and I want to abuse you and say, why the fuck do you have to change my life on earth? How many changes do I have to go through, etc., etc. Once you get that out, you still know they are literally helping, and the change is not as bad as it seems to the human. They know your soul. They know your archetypal patterns that are of more use coming online in this lifetime. The archetypal patterns are connected to how well the divine knows you and part of your sacred contract. And this was before you were born. So they got your back, they got your front, they got you, and you walked the path. Not in perfection, but an opening up to more and more of your path, which is literally more and more of yourself, but more and more of your world, more and more powers you can offer of these archetypes. God bless. Cool, that was only half an hour. Pretty happy with that. Don't like to go on for too long because you don't know how long people have to watch. But you just watch it in your own time anyway. Whenever. I just bring the importance when it highlights. So all I can say to everybody is, let's do this. Become those 360 light beings that really enlighten from the chest. God bless.